Hey, what's up ladies and gentlemen, Biki here with the Untitled Game Show, back once again with more of my reactions and discussion. If you like these videos, go ahead and like, subscribe, and go down in the description and hit up that Patreon link to find out all the information about my channel. And maybe even support with $1. I would really appreciate it. Now let's do it, guys. Netflix has a new show exclusively, Daredevil. I watched all 13 episodes at once, one day on Sunday. It was amazing. It was weird. Now let's start it off from the beginning, guys. The first two episodes of the shows weren't that great. I really didn't like the first two episodes. It was very much like a Law and Order ripoff. That's just how it felt to me. I'm sorry, guys. That's how it felt to me. It was a very slow build up, and I'm like, okay, let's get to this, guys. We know what Daredevil's about. Let's just get to this thing already. Now, first two episodes, like I said, I didn't like it that much, but it gets so much better as the series goes on. And I think it's a good thing in the end, after watching the whole entire series, that the first episode was so slow, because they build up and give these characters such a good backstory by the end of the series that you know everybody's name, you know their voices, you just know who they are and what they actually represent. And I mean, one of the best characters of this is like the Kingpin. The guy who plays Kingpin is basically the guy from Law and Order Criminal Intent. That's where he came from. That's where he's most famous from knowing. And he's just like a really imitating character. Like, yo, Kingpin is a dangerous dude, man, but still you kind of understand where he's coming from, and that's a good way to have a villain that I kind of understand with, identify with. You understand him, but you still recognize what he's doing is wrong. Kind of like Magneto. That's why I think Magneto is kind of like the greatest villain, because he purely thinks he's justified in doing what he's doing, and he's doing what he's doing because he thinks he's trying to do a greater good. He might go about it kind of wrong, but he's going about it still in a way that's trying to end up with some good in the end. Now, I'm not going to try to spoil the whole series and everything like that, so I'm not going to get too deep into what happens with Kingpin. But I will say this, though, guys. There's actually a bunch of other groups of, not just Kingpin. There's like the Italian mob. There was an Italian mob. There's a Russian mob. There was the Yakuzas, Triads. All that stuff is there. And they actually build out those characters as well, which is something I really do like. All the people involved in those organizations as well. At the top level, you know their name, you know what they're about, and you know what's going to happen with them. So a lot of the show is predictable, but at the same time, because the characters are so well developed, when they have conversations, I'm okay taking the slow build up to see what's going to happen, because of the fact that the characters are actually okay listening to them talking. And so much of the show is actually in subtitles. A lot of the show is not in English. A lot of it's in Chinese. A lot of it's in Japanese. They speak Spanish even, guys. So you're going to have to read some subtitles if you're willing to watch this show. And read those subtitles that give you a lot of information about the characters as well. I really do like that. It's a different take than a show that's just trying to be a mass appeal. Like, everybody speaks English all the time. It's nice to take a little approach to different stuff, especially somewhere like Hell Kitchen, where, you know, there's so many different people living in that place anyway, so it makes sense that, you know, different races speak different languages, and there is a common language, which is English, which they do use quite often, but being able to hear these people actually speak their native tongue is kind of nice as well. Another big factor of the show is, of course, Daredevil. So what's his story, guys? Well, he's awesome. And somebody's reading my damn phone. Sorry about that. Now, let's talk about Daredevil himself. What's his deal? Well, Daredevil's absolutely awesome in his own unique way. He is a superhero, but he's not a superhero that's gonna take a massive amount of damage and just get up and go back into a fight every single day perfectly fine. When he gets cut, when he gets bruised, he gotta get stitches. He gotta hide his wounds from everybody in his daily life. He has to make up a reason why he gets hurt. Like, you know, he's a blind guy, so every time he gets hurt, he's like, oh, I ran into something. Something happened to me. I was in a car accident. Whatever it might be, guys. And that stuff does definitely happen. And I like the fact that there's times where he's hurt so much that he has to take almost a whole entire episode and just lay on the couch and try to meditate and heal himself. And that's like kind of cool to me. Like, he's not invincible. Now, there's a reason for this. Early on in the show, he does not have his main Daredevil costume that's going to give him some protection. And this was kind of a thing that kind of bugged me. I was kind of thinking, like, what the hell are you going to get this damn costume already? Get this freaking black rag from around your head. I hate to see that damn black rag. It was annoying the shit out of me. Eventually, he does get his full costume, but unfortunately, that's not until, like, way later on in the season. And there is only 13 episodes, and right now, that might be a problem for some people, because it ends, and the ending is conclusive. Like, there's not big cliffhangers here, guys. It could really only be one season if that's the way it plays out. And I mean, the developers and producers of the show actually did, in interviews, they said that they just don't know how things might work out. If there's gonna be another season, we don't know yet. I don't numbers. I don't know if it did good for Netflix. If it did do good, there might be another season. If it didn't do good, then well, there may not be another season. I definitely do recommend you guys watching it, guys. I mean, just bear through the first 2 episodes. I really don't think the first 2 episodes are that great, but it really does get a lot better as it goes on. And because of the first 2 episodes, you do know a lot of characters' names, and they actually builds everything up. So I understand their point in the story. I just didn't think they delivered that well.